Hey guys, it's Alex here, and today we'll be talking about how you can leverage n8n to create flexible AI automation workflows with low code, no code. Deploy that locally on a Docker container for free, and basically being able to run automations without having to pay for the subscription to use n8n, and how we can leverage the new MCP servers to add even more functionality and context into your AI agent automations. Docker Desktop basically allows you to deploy isolated containers to deploy apps and run them. And it's an amazing tool. And I definitely recommend utilizing it whenever you can to deploy environments and run applications in a local server. Now, to download Docker Desktop, simply just go to docker.com, pick the correct Docker Desktop application for your OS. And once you have it installed, you can basically go into images, search up n8n, and you'll see here n8n.io, n8n. This is a very popular repo with over 100 million downloads and pulls. Pull it and run it. And then when you do go to run it, there is some optional settings that you have to put. Obviously, when you defining your container, give it a name. For the host port, give it a host port that you know won't be used. For a number that you think will be free, in this case, I'll put quadruple 8. In your host path, pick a folder for your n8n installation, and then just grab the value for this. As simple as that. And then in the variable area here, you want to make sure that you've enabled n8n community packages and set that to true. This is quite important because this MCP tool that we'll be using is a community delivered package, and we'll set that to true. And then you click run and your container will spin up. And once it is spinned up, you'll have it live at the port that you've defined, and you can go in. It will prompt you to make a username and password, put that in. I definitely recommend activating it for free using the free activation. It gives you a few extra features that aren't normally available. Before we get into utilizing this, I really want to talk about MCP as a whole, Model Context Protocol. Servers are basically ways of packaging APIs, tools, even contextual knowledge into a server that can be accessed by agentic flows. This was first introduced by Anthropic, and it's pretty much taken the whole AI world by storm, and it's become basically the acknowledged best protocol to ingest API parameters and give extra tooling to your AI agents. This architecture has allowed us to basically integrate tools that we've already been integrating on an API level in a much safer and much more streamlined way. In this Model Context Protocol servers folder, these are the reference servers that came out. Brave Search is really good for searching the web. We have things like Google Drive to access files, and there's a whole bunch of third-party servers with official integrations that are coming out now that allow you to do so many different things. But today we'll be just showing you how we can integrate Tavily into our agent, so that way we can do searching and extracting information from the internet. But yeah, you can even create Stripe payments. You can implement connections into your Notion workbooks. These are all pretty amazing and very useful to power your own agents. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do after you've created your n8n account locally and logged in is, first of all, you've got access to this amazing n8n platform on your local server. And that's why Docker is amazing, because it's containerized, it's kept in its own little environment that it can run. And you can start building agents straight off the go. But first thing you want to do is allow us to get access to MCPs using a community node called community n8n nodes MCP. Understand the risks, install, and this will pull the n8n MCP client tool that's hosted on this GitHub here. It allows you to add environment variables and connections directly to many MCPs that you can call at any time So every time you use an MCP, you'll have that saved as well, and the credentials saved and ready to go. We're going to use this in our own brand new workflow. First thing you want to do is call this, give your workflow a name. We're going to call ours a search agent. And the first step is we want it to work off a chat message and basically be able to fire off some sort of message that will trigger the agent to work. And for that, we'll need advanced AI and AI agent. You don't have to do much here, just exit out this. We want to power it with any type of LLM system. We're going to personally use OpenAI because we already have an OpenAI account credential. But if you don't have one, make sure you go to any of the platforms. We use OpenAI, get the API developer account set up and load up some credit into an API and generate API key and save it as a credential just here. And then also make sure to test that credential to see if it's working. And once that's done, we'll have the OpenAI chat model ready to go. The next important thing to do is give your AI agent some level of context. In this case, we're going to store it in simple memory. This is just all you need to do. It's a small little JSON memory file with a context window of 5. It's able to store chat memory and also results from your tool usage, which we will connect the tool now. We will now have access to the model context protocol. So before we can access it, we'll go to here. We'll just save this quickly. And we'll be able to load up credentials using MCP, Client Studio, API. And here we'll be able to add our command, which is npx, argument-y. And Tavily MCP 2. And then we can just add our environment variable for Tavily, which in this case is going to be Tavily API and then whatever your key is. It's blurred out, so make sure we copy the right. So Tavily API key equals whatever your API key is. Generate a new Tavily API. All you have to do is create an account. This is generally free as long as you're not using it for application and public-facing application. So we'll just call this n8n MCP. And then we'll create, and you just copy that in, add it into your credential, save it. And that credential should be saved and is ready to access in your agent. So we'll go back into our MCP client here, open it up. All right, and the next step is to add MCP tool. And, oh, okay. This is not the MCP tool that we just installed, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to restart the n8n environment from Docker because once you've installed the community node, it needs to probably reload from the beginning. So we're going to restart n8n and hopefully that will help it to show. And yeah, we're open again. So I'm going to refresh. That workflow's up. So I'm going to delete this old MCP client and see if I can get the new MCP tool we just installed. And we do have the new MCP tool, which is good. So we can use the Studio Account API, set automatically, list tools. Let's see. Probably should name this Tavily. I'm going to call this one Tavily MCP. Save. Give the tool expression, but we'll set that automatically. And we'll execute tool name. Get prompt. We'll list tools right now. Okay, I'm going to just load the MCP client separately. And we're going to get it to list available tools. And yep, it's given us back all the tools available, which is the Tavily search and Tavily extract, which is perfect. Able to see this, so I'm just going to create a new node separately for the MCP client just to get information on the list of available tools. We'll run the test step. And yeah, so we just have here the two different tools available under this MCP, which is the extract and the search options. So we'll create a new tool here to actually, this one, the other MC client tool, to actually act on that and execute a tool. So what we'll do here is this one will be to execute tool, and then you have your tool parameters here. So we're going to run this quickly to list tools. We do have a tools response, which is great. Hopefully this means I can now further build onto this. We have an issue with our current version of n8n where we cannot use AI to automatically fill the parameters. So I'm going to try and use from AI command to grab a tool and the query parameter here. So see if that works. I'll open the chat, start a new session. Best place to buy trading cards in Sydney, Australia. Let's see if we can get this to tools. Try it again. Okay, let's see if it, first of all, yep, we'll get the list of tools. Let's see if we can execute. No, it failed to execute. What's the issue? Oh, actually, I was able to get a proper answer from Tavily. So even though there was an error in the first run, in the second run, it was able to properly. Oh, so I'm going to change that to tools then. Looks like it's working now. So I'm actually able to do that. For anyone who's trying to understand what this is, it's basically this from AI command here allows us to define from previous AI agent tool usage a key, a description of what that key is. The type and a default value if we can't get a value parameter already in from it. So the idea is the key is the name of the argument, must be between 1 and 64 characters long. It really can be anything. I think I should call it query, to be honest, but it's undefined, which is bad, but I'll try and see if this will work. And then the description is what you want it to be, which is a query parameter, and then type. I actually should probably put type because it is a string type. I think the issue is string is incorrect. It should be JSON. And with that, we should be able to get a better answer, I think. Usually there'll be a little icon that has like a sparkle emoji that allows AI to define what the model wants, and then it can usually do that pretty quickly. Let's see if we got it right the first time. Looks good. Looks like we have an answer. Oh snap! That's a full green light on the n8n. Again, this should have been a lot easier. What it's missing is the ability to. There's like usually a sparkling emoji here or here, where you can just let AI define the parameter. But we've just basically had to put in this command tool line here just to make sure we can define the parameter ourselves. And in this case, the parameter was best place to buy trading card games in Sydney, which is the query from what AI decided from here. If we look at actually the run of the AI, we can see it even here had good generations. The agent itself was able to do a bit. Just list tools first. One of the key things I've actually done here is I added this step into the system message, which is that first, as the system, I should list the tools before attempting to execute them. As I was noticing when I wasn't putting that in, and I tried to run it, it would actually go for the tool first and attempt to run the tool. Without any context on how the tool works, it's usually never going to work that way. So, yeah. I'm going to stop now and just put it back to where it was. Okay, I think I'll just make sure, first I'll list the tools before I attempt to execute the Tavily search. I think that'll make it run even more smoother. Best pizza, Sydney. It's looking good. It didn't even. Because of the memory, simple memory context, it was able to remember how it did it last time and execute it and store it in simple memory. That's what I love about adding contextual memory into your AI agents. It really enhances the way they work. So the only thing I'm pretty much upset about is that I don't have access to the AI definition here. This would make it much smoother. It would basically say and leave it up to the AI model to decide what the parameter in JSON format is needed by the API. But for some reason, my version of n8n, which is the newest version, because I just did a fresh install for this video, is not showing that. But other than that, that is a great example of a simple AI agent installation. I've run this locally on my computer. It's open source. It's free. You don't need to actually have a paid n8n account to do this. And it's very simple to set up. As you saw, just create that Docker container, search for the n8n Git repo within Docker itself, install it, put in an OpenAI or some other LLM API to power your AI agent tool, have a chat trigger to put it in, and add tools. Now, sure, maybe using an MCP tool in the AI agent here to do web scraping or web searching might be a bit overkill, but this is a great proof of concept to show how you can input an MCP server into automation tools like Claude, like n8n, and just add a whole breadth of new functionality into an existing LLM powered AI agent. So I'm kind of impressed at what we have available to us now through MCP servers. The next thing I'm going to probably talk about is the A2A agent to agent protocol that Google's working on. That's probably the next big exciting frontier. MCP is pretty much solid. People building MCP servers now that can be used to service new tooling, new data, functionality, context into AI agents and make them stronger. But what the future is probably going to be is how the different agents that you have can talk to each other and function across multiple applications. A lot of people are trying to use n8n now to do multi-powered agents or super agents, but with a functionality protocol for agents like A2A, it means it will become a lot easier for you to basically have a personal assistant which can choose which agent it wants to use for what purpose or task you've requested from it, which means that agents are just going to become even more powerful. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you guys think of n8n with MCP tooling. If you think this video was useful, let me know. If you want to see a certain video or certain extra in-depth understanding of n8n, I can post more n8n videos. If not, let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys in my next video.